WrestleZone presents Lost in the Midcard. Here are your hosts, Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where it's good to get fired by the WWE by some people. We'll get into that. It's Lost in the Midcard. We got some title changes on some major ex-WWE players to talk about. We got a PLE to talk about, and we got a pay-per-view to preview. And in between that, we got some TNA news regarding updates on the Scott D'Amore firing. Those should all get us over till the top of the hour with Monday Night Raw, which really does not have much announced right now. But as they're coming back from Australia, we'll get into that and so much more. But if you haven't done so already, make sure you have subscribed to the WrestleZone channel and hit that bell icon so you know every time we go live. Lost the Midcard every Monday, 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central, leading you up to Monday Night Raw. Make sure you share this out with your friends as well. Comment and all of that fun stuff. Help us get this shared out to as many people as possible. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Got a lot to get into. And, well, you can follow me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. I'll be doing a little live tweeting tonight on Monday Night Raw. And as always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
What's up, man? It's Monday. We are in the no excuses road to WrestleMania at this point. Every Raw and SmackDown should be a home run between now and WWE's biggest show of the year, and they need to start hitting them home runs starting tonight with Raw.
Lots of table setting that happened on Saturday, early Saturday morning. I did not watch Chamber until this morning, or actually more like this afternoon, since the Pat McAfee show is still on a break this week. So I watched Chamber today, then I watched Collision because I had a DJ on Friday and Saturday, and I went out of town for a comedy show last night. So I literally have had no time to watch any wrestling until today, thankfully. Let's get into that lead. Elimination Chamber, Perth, Australia. Was the I know it wasn't as newsworthy as the WrestleMania conference, Matt, but did you watch the press conference at all for the Chamber?
Oh, like the little media thing they did in front of the little concert type thing they did Thursday night. Yeah, I watched because I was bored. Like I was sitting there just waiting to go to bed, and I'm just like, oh, this is on. I just turned. It was fun. Like it really wasn't anything. If you missed it, you didn't miss anything. It was just something wrestling related to watch if you wanted to kill an hour, which I did, waiting to try to get to sleep on Thursday night. So, are you frozen, JB? Hey, chat, is JB frozen or am I frozen or what's going on here? Somebody help me out here. Anybody in the chat? Oh, this is not good. Okay, JB froze. Thank you, Steven. All right, so I was worried. I'm like, is it my internet? I don't know. All right, so it's just JB's frozen. He'll be back eventually. It's just me. It's just me again. It's just me, Oos. Day one-ish. All right. Okay. So Elimination Chamber. I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. for the show. I'll be perfectly honest. When I woke up on Saturday morning, I loaded up Peacock. I watched the thing on demand. Fast forwarded all the junk in between. So I probably got done with the pay-per-view in, I don't know, 2.5 hours. Because they had a lot of filler in there that really wasn't necessary. I thought the show was fine. It was a good show, but it was essentially it was a Saudi show. Like, every match was extremely predictable. You knew what you were going to get out of this event. The only newsworthy thing we might have gotten coming out of it was coming out of the Grayson Waller effect. When Cody went to talk about the thing everybody wanted him to talk about why, after counseling with The Rock, he decided to take his WrestleMania main event back with Roman. Grayson Waller cut him off. So, great. That's fantastic. And now Grayson Waller's fighting Cody tonight on Raw. So, it's fine. Like I said, I thought the show was good. I thought the women's elimination chamber match stole the entire event. So it was all downhill from there. Then we had, what was the second match? Was it the tag match? Was it Judgment Day and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate? I thought that was a good match. I mean, nobody expected Bate and Dunne to win because all signs point to Truth and Miz taking the titles from Judgment Day at WrestleMania. So it wasn't really a surprise there. Becky winning the chamber wasn't a surprise. I think Tiffany Stratton's Elimination Chamber reaction was probably my biggest surprise of the night. I should have seen this coming after the press event on Thursday night with the reaction the crowd gave Tiffany. But Australia loves Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time in freaking Perth and probably, anywhere else because she's a freaking bona fide superstar. And speaking of bona fide superstars, JB is back.
Yeah.
We're just talking Elimination Chamber.
I don't know why a damn computer likes to just completely freeze. So
yeah.
I completely freeze where I can't even it's not the internet or anything, it's just completely freezes. I can't touch anything, nothing works. I have to just power it off manually. But hey, I'm back.
Incredible.
Anyways, let's thank you for everybody here in the chat there with Stephen Chambers, our Uncle Howdy, Frantic World, Mark Cho, Ozzy. So yeah, let's kick off with it's definitely not my internet because I've got 500 up and down. So it's just something in the computer is making everything freeze at once. I'll have to look into that. It's only happened twice ever in the 2 years I've had this computer.
Both times it's been during this podcast, so that's always nice.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea why it's doing that. So the Elimination Chamber kickoff show, great moment for Indy Hartwell getting to perform in front of her home country. And in the tag team championship match, the Kabuki Warriors taking on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Of course, the Kabuki Warriors taking on those two. Yeah, no surprise. It was a good match.
I fast forwarded through the entire kickoff show. I did not fucking care.
Oh, you didn't watch it live, huh?
No, hell no. As I told the people in the chat, when I woke up on Saturday morning, I avoided social media. I just loaded up Peacock. I watched the show. I got through it in like 2.5 hours because I skipped through all the hoopla in between the matches and everything. So I got through the event in pretty good time. And then I heard later that between the tag match and the men's chamber, there was like 55 minutes of no wrestling. And like, on a pay-per-view, that's kind of inexcusable. But
with the Waller effect thing?
Yeah, but I mean, apparently there was other stuff padded around that took up a whole 55 minutes. So it's freaking ridiculous, man.
I didn't even notice it was that long.
Yeah, I saw that after the fact, but as I said, I was fast forwarding through shit, so I didn't have to deal with all of it.
It was a good reaction though for Indy Hartwell there, but I mean, there's no surprise that the Kabuki Warriors retain their tag titles, probably going to face Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill at WrestleMania would be a very good guess there. I don't know what else that other things they would have planned. That would probably
Might
be
end
the
up
best.
being a multi-team match at WrestleMania just to get all the women on the card.
Could.
I'm not really sure what they're gonna do there.
Let's say use my idea, the old elimination or the Intercontinental Women's Intercontinental title ladder match,
Yeah, I don't look, as much as I think that would be a great idea for the women in WWE, I don't see WWE doing it.
Kicking things off with the Women's Elimination Chamber with we got Becky Lynch and Naomi starting things off. That's not a bad matchup. Something kind of fresh we haven't seen in a while. Tiffany Stratton came in third. I thought Tiffany really shined in this chamber match. Did you think, Matt?
Yeah, we were again talking about it before you were back. Tiffany shined very, very brightly. The Australian audience loves her, and she's a bona fide superstar. I think. I think she has a very bright future. If she's not holding gold by the end of 2024, I'll be shocked. And if they don't want to put a title on her immediately, Money in the Bank's calling her name. So one way or another, I definitely think Tiffany Stratton's going to have a gigantic 2024 on the main roster.
Going to have a bedazzled Money in the Bank briefcase. Pink one. Frantic World in the chat says an hour and 30 minutes of no wrestling. Yeah, because I read something that it was like 17 minutes into the main show before there was even any action. Like those entrances just took so long. But Liv Morgan came in fourth. And Naomi, first one eliminated by Tiffany Stratton after a kind of a power bomb, like Liv power bombed Naomi off the pod. And then it was just kind of like a quick elimination. Naomi, I guess they say she got caught by surprise or something like that. I don't know. I was kind of surprised to see Naomi get eliminated at that spot just because, it was just a power bomb off the pod. But that's what happened. Raquel Rodriguez, props to her coming in fifth for wrestling through her illness. It's an illness. I forget what it's called, but it's an illness that just basically you break out in hives. Your body just kind of shuts down. And that's probably why she may have looked a little different, because it kind of causes swelling and things like that. And it does not sound like a fun disease at all. And props to Raquel for wrestling through that. She came in at number 5, Bianca Belair at number 6. Stratton gets eliminated by Liv Morgan.
And crowd boos Morgan out of the damn building.
Oh man, bullshit chance coming down. How about that? They were rooting for Tiff.
Tiffy didn't get her win, and Liv didn't get to finish her revenge tour. So sad.
And then I saw people like trying to manufacture a Daniel Bryan moment with Liv Morgan. I'm like, no, this was the plan all along.
I do not understand the portion of the audience right now who's calling for Liv Morgan, who is as cold can be right now on the road to WrestleMania, to be inserted into that match with Rhea Ripley. It doesn't make a lick of sense.
No.
Beyond the fact that you're a hardcore Liv Morgan fan, nothing on the WWE programming right now dictates that Liv Morgan is hot enough to stand across the ring from Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. Absolutely, positively nothing. People need to let it go. And I love Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan's great, but her character is cold. Her character's as cold as ice right now. They need to build her back up. And in WrestleMania 40 ain't the time to be attempting to build somebody up like that right now.
I think it's just people that want to try to start something to see if they can get a change happening. And you're manufacturing something that's not there. Something was there with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. Something was there with Cody Rhodes this year at WrestleMania 40. Nothing is there for Liv Morgan at WrestleMania 40. It's people that are trying to act like they're outraged to see if something can happen. And I doubt if half of the people that even our hardcore fans even knew about this Liv Morgan thing. And I guarantee you, I bet you 90% of the casual crowd had no clue this was even a thing. So it's completely different than Brian and Cody. I think it's just people trying to manufacture something that just isn't there. Raquel Rodriguez then gets eliminated with a KOD for Bianca Belair. So then we're down to Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair. And just like that, bang, bang, 2 eliminations with Bianca eliminating Liv Morgan and Liv getting rolled up by Becky Lynch immediately for the win. And oh, there we go. Liv's I have not seen that yet.
Marcho sent me that this afternoon and it popped me. So I decided that we were just going to throw it up here.
Oh, my
because
Lord.
why the hell not? Why the hell not?
That's funny because, yeah, I have not seen that yet.
Liv, she can say the revenge tour's not over till she says it's over, but it's over. It's over. Just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Marcher, I don't know if CM Punk is trying to make changes in 2K24 as much as this is a marketing ploy.
What do you mean? What happened?
I mean, it could also be CM Punk going into business for himself. I'm not sure which. Punk's been on Instagram today, posting messages and videos and stuff about him not being on the 2K24 roster, and him not fans saying he's not being hinted at in the DLC, and he said he was going to get to the bottom of it and contact WWE Games, and I'm like, I think it's all a marketing ploy, and he's going to be announced as part of the DLC for the game. But I mean, look, it could also be Punk going into business for himself. It wouldn't be the first time. So
no way.
I don't know.
No way.
Not Punk. Never.
Good Elimination Chamber. I don't think the winner was ever in doubt here. Where in the men, there's many people that it could have been in that chamber. The women's was definitely not up in the air, but still the women performed very well. And I think, as I said earlier, and as you said, when I was gone, Tiffany Stratton, probably the shining star of that chamber. Very well done.
I also said I thought it was the best match on the show.
I thought
it was all. No, I hated the men's chamber.
Oh, I
hated it. No. Hated it. No, pay-per-view all went down from hill after this match. This was the best. This was the best thing on the show.
Tag team titles are on the line next. Do catch Republic taking on the Judgment Day. And again, no surprise.
Good match, predictable outcome. I talked about this briefly again when you were gone. Like we all know Awesome Truth's taking those titles at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So unless they were going to do another, quick title flip like they did with Cody and Jey Uso,
yeah, that only lasted 9 days.
Yeah. So unless they were going to do that, the titles weren't changing. So. Yeah, look, the match was good. I expect those four men to get in the ring and work well together. But there was never any question in my mind who was leaving that match with the tag titles.
Then they did some weird commercial for Saudi Arabia. I don't know what that was all about.
You sure it wasn't for Australia?
No, it was for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It was just some WWE experience thing. It didn't even announce a date or any PLE. It just said
like I said, I fast forwarded through everything that wasn't matches of the Grayson Waller effect, so I didn't see it. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then they pimped the AE&E rivals returning to A&E as well. Then they showed some tourism for Western Australia. A lot of I guess WWE got paid to do that because they did that a couple of times. They did that at the end of the PLE too, I think. Yeah, I could see how this was about an hour and plus because then we had the Grayson Waller effect. We had Austin Theory introducing Grayson Waller getting the home country rub entrance there, and the fans loving him. And then of course we got the entrances of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. So yeah, those took some time, I could see. And I mean, it was I get what they did with this just because they wanted to get Waller a pop. you got to see Cody and Seth and do a couple of moves on Austin Theory, which, hey, we all love watching Austin Theory get beat up, right? So, I thought it was a decent segment for what it was. It sounds like Cody's challenging The Rock. It almost sounds like one-on-one at WrestleMania. I wonder if The Rock throws up a winner gets Roman at night 2, something like that, maybe just to really scare the Cody crybabies. Maybe, I don't know.
It's gonna be a tag match. They're gonna shift it into a tag match
with Roman or
it's gonna be Roman. It's gonna be Roman and Rock against Rollins and Cody. That's what's going to happen. They're taking their time getting there.
Another thing I got out of this.
Apparently, Rock's scheduled for the next 3 SmackDowns, so at least he's showing up to work. Maybe he's showing Roman Reigns what it's like to, to be a main eventer on the main roster.
I saw a headline today that said Rock is scheduled for the next several SmackDowns in March.
Yeah, the next 3.
There's only 3 or 4 SmackDowns in March. That's not several. That's a few.
Oh, March 1st, March 8th, and March 15th.
That is not a several. Several was the wrong word to use in that.
Well, thing. If he's there if he's there the following week, which they haven't gone that far yet, if he's there that week too, then that would be several.
I don't know. 4 is a few.
I hope The Rock shows up at every fucking SmackDown in the month of March and it says to Roman, that's how it's done, bitch.
Right. Another thing I got out of this was I wonder if they're going to start turning Grayson Waller babyface. He just let Austin Theory
Cody on Raw tonight.
He was letting on. Well, that don't mean anything right now. I'm talking.
He did that because they knew they weren't going to boo him over there. So he played the pseudo babyface in his home country, and he's back to being a heel tonight.
He let Theory get beat up though, so I don't know. I don't know if Theory's going to let that one slide. So I bet
you. I would be shocked if they ever acknowledge it on television. I will be genuinely shocked.
Waller was just like, "Yeah, go have at it, beat him up." We'll see. Next up is the men's chamber. Kevin Owens. If you watch the beginning of the pay-per-view, coming into the arena with a koala, he should enter in everywhere the koala from now on because that was just awesome. KO getting a big pop. Pumping up the crowd. Bobby Lashley coming out next, followed by Logan Paul and Randy Orton. I always love when everybody just taunts everybody in the pods. That's kind of one of my favorite parts of the chamber. Then the first 2 entrants into the match, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, is over in Australia still. Big pop for LA Knight. And so they go at it at first. Then Kevin Owens comes in along with Bobby Lashley 4th, Randy Orton 5th, Logan Paul 6th. So all 6 men in the ring, nobody eliminated yet. Bobby Lashley, the first one eliminated by Drew McIntyre. Something you could probably see storyline-wise just because of the Final Testament working over Lashley on the SmackDown before the chamber. LA Knight is attacked by AJ Styles brutally with chair shots and a Styles clash. There's your WrestleMania match right there. That's dedication. Being that pissed off at a guy to get on a flight all the way to Australia just to beat him up with some chair shots. So there's your match. So no title shot for LA Knight going into WrestleMania. That was
the plan. That was originally the plan. Something's changed. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but something's definitely shifted. And now it looks like Paul versus Orton versus KO.
Yeah, I mean, KO's still.
It was just really freaking weird. Like they did a lot of stupid things in this chamber. Honestly, I thought they overbooked the men's chamber to hell and back, and by the time it was over, I was just happy that it was over because the booking of the match itself, I thought it was extremely lazy, and
I thought completely the opposite. I kind of liked how they laid things out to set up WrestleMania.
The AJ interference, the Logan Paul sticking around to hit Orton with the nuts. I thought it all fucking sucked.
I had no
let a man take a fucking pinfall and let them move on. Like you don't need to be protecting people in the fucking elimination chamber. People are gonna lose. That's what the elimination chamber is. And still to this day, the only good interference in the history of the elimination chamber is when Michaels came out from under the grate to cost Undertaker the chamber match.
Yeah.
That was the only good elimination chamber interference ever. And all these other ones, oh no, the chamber door's open too long because the guy's hurt and he can't get out of the ring. It sucks. It's lazy. It's very paint by numbers booking, and I wish they'd fucking stop it.
And I feel the opposite. I think it was well done and set up things well. I wonder maybe 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 there's a U.S. title ladder match. You got 3 people already involved. Maybe you throw in LA Knight and AJ Styles. Maybe you make it a ladder match for that U.S. championship.
Well, if you do a ladder match for the U.S. title, you sure as hell ain't getting an Intercontinental Women's ladder.
Well,
match
you already told me I ain't getting it. You already told me I ain't getting it.
You're just obsessed with getting a multi-person ladder match on WrestleMania 40.
Yes, because those are always fun. And ever since Money in the Bank got its own pay-per-view, I think we need one.
I still think was dumb.
You think that's dumb?
I still think Money in the Bank should have remained part of WrestleMania.
I don't.
And especially on the 2 nights, they could add a men's ladder match, Money in the Bank on night 1, and a women's on night 2, or vice versa.
Fuck, you could add a tag team one too. Shit.
Yeah, no brainer. I've never really understood taking Money in the Bank off of WrestleMania because it's the most important show of the year, and it made that match feel more important.
Yeah, but still, a lot of people now view that as the 5th major pay-per-view now. Like the PGA Tour's TPC Sawgrass is considered the 5th major. Money in the Bank is considered the 5th major now. So in some spots above Survivor Series. So
Marshall, I agree with Edge taking out Kofi was a good spot, but that occurred before the match started. Kofi didn't even make it into the chamber before Edge took him out and took his spot. That's different. I'm talking about once the elimination chamber doors shut and the match officially begins. That's what I'm talking about, the issues that I'm having.
Yeah. And to me, I did not, I thought this was my favorite match of the night. I thought these were actually well done.
It was my least favorite match of the show. And it
was RKO on KO to knock him out. Then I love this spot. Logan Paul getting out the brass knucks and just acting all cocky, and then out of the frame, right in front of you, right into your living room. Randy Orton literally RKO's Logan Paul into your living room. I love that spot. Logan Paul eliminated by Orton. Then it was down to the 2 big dogs that have each won chambers before. I believe Orton's won a chamber before. Orton, though, getting knocked out by the brass knucks by Logan Paul.
We'll come back to this question, MK. Don't let us forget.
Logan Paul.
We'll be talking about this later.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. Logan Paul knocking out Orton with the brass knucks. Drew covered him because, Drew has no moral compass anymore. So Drew McIntyre is the winner of the Elimination Chamber, or as he calls it on Twitter, the savior of WrestleMania. Triple H comes out to give us the attendance figures, and then we get our main event, which I believe the Rhea Ripley definitely deserved the main event spot here, so I'm glad they gave it to us. And I mean, Jesus, this might have been Nia Jax's best match too. I thought this was a very, very good match. Of course, Nia's, I think, probably in the best shape of her career. Rhea is at the apex of her career right now, just as a dominant champion, to the point where I may pick her over Becky Lynch. I don't know yet, but
I think that match, as of right now, 40 days out of WrestleMania, I think that match is a coin flip. I would, if you asked me to pick that winner right now, I'd say to be determined. I can't tell you who's winning that match 40 days out. Give me 30 days, and I'll probably have a better answer for you. Like 10 days out for Mania, I'll probably have my pick by then. Right now, I'm not sure. Coin flip.
There's so many Mania matches where you go, yeah, that's the come up story from winning the Rumble or something, and they're getting their title at Mania. I just don't feel like Becky's been booked that way, and right now I don't know if they're going to take the title off of Rhea, because I just don't feel like this is a guaranteed slam dunk that Becky's going to win the match. So
that was the only thing I didn't like about this match. Like, Nia should have moved those damn monitors out of the way, because Rhea landing on those monitors on the table like she did, you could accidentally, seriously injure someone, a month and a half out from WrestleMania. Not a smart move by Nia there.
Yeah, at least it ain't the old CRT ones they used to have.
No,
Those
but they're
landing
still
on
big
those.
enough that you land on them on your back lands on those things. Like seriously, could cause some like legitimate harm.
Very very impressive finish to the end of the match with Ripley hitting a superplex and then picking up Nia for the Riptide to get the win, celebrating with her family. I thought it was a good PLE, nothing that mind blowing. Everything basically paint by numbers expected.
It was a Saudi show in Australia.
Yeah,
That's all it was. It was a
yeah.
Saudi show, and it's fine. That's fine. But like on the road to WrestleMania, I want something more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a Saudi show on the road to WrestleMania. You can do them from May to December. Like once January rolls around, I don't want any events like that on the road to WrestleMania. You got to give me something
Especially
better
at
than
4
that.
a.m. here.
Yeah, 5 a.m. my time. Like I said, I think I got up like between like 9:30 or 10 Saturday morning, and I just loaded up Peacock and watched it without looking at social media or anything until I was done. Like I said, a good show, but Saudi levels of predictable. If I have woken up for that pay-per-view at 5 a.m., I'd have been pissed. By the time it was done, I'd have been very, very angry. So glad I didn't do that.
Moving on to New Japan. Two former WWE superstars are now New Japan champions from New Beginning in Sapporo. Nick Nemeth becomes the second ever IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion as he defeated David Finlay. And Matt Riddle defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi to win the New Japan Pro Wrestling Television Championship. What are your thoughts on two guys that got fired for two different reasons, complete different reasons, but yet here they are in New Japan winning titles? What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
Now, I know Matt Riddle's not everybody's favorite person right now.
No.
But the fact of the matter is this: before WWE signed him, he was deep in talks with New Japan to go over there and work with them. And had he not been in talks to go over there and work New Japan, WWE probably would have never came knocking to bring him in to begin with. So it's not a surprise to me that New Japan and Riddle picked up right where they left off in terms of negotiating to bring him in. Little surprised that Tanahashi was so willing to put him over, but I guess as the new president of the company, he wants to help establish new main event players with Okada and Tama Tonga and the like leaving.
Yeah.
Nick Nemeth made, what can you say? Great main event. I'm not a big David Finlay guy. I think I think the Bullet Club in general in New Japan has stumbled and lost its way ever since Jay White left.
It's more prominent in the United States than it is in Japan.
The War Dogs, they're fine, but to me they're just a bunch of guys. Like none of them stand out to me. Like I don't look at anybody. They're all good wrestlers. Like don't get me wrong. Everybody in the War Dogs, they're good wrestlers, but none of them stand out to me. Maybe Gabe Kidd, but like beyond that, like I don't think any of them stand out to me. Like, oh, this is the next big thing in New Japan.
It needs either a shot in the arm or a dismantling and just bring it to the U.S. I don't know, because it's doing fine in Bullet Club Gold. So, and then, of course, another ex-WWE star in TNA's No Surrender, Mustafa Ali, in the main event against Chris Sabin, which I think was rightfully the main event of the pay-per-view. Mustafa Ali defeats the 8 or 9 time X Division champion to get the title there in a
I think he's 10 time.
Yeah. And then that was kind of more of a paint by numbers champions retaining type of deal too. I have not watched Impact since D'Amore got fired. I was surprised to see Simon Gotch wrestling Josh Alexander. I don't know how that came about because I have not been watching Impact the last 3 weeks.
I don't know why anybody is pushing Simon Gotch in 2024. I just pointless.
My ladies did get their tag titles back though. MK Ultra did defeat.
They should have never lost them to begin with.
No. But I mean, Moose winning, Jordan Grace winning, those were not shockers. Eric Young, your new number one contender, Eric Young and Moose. That'll be maybe a fun build up, I think. Well, maybe I'll forgive them. I don't know. I'm still pissed about Scott D'Amore. Let's talk about Scott D'Amore though. Before we get to Revolution, there was a TNA talent meeting, and Fightful Select posted this on yesterday. TNA held a meeting with talent and some of the new bosses within the company, and Fightful got some reactions from it. Fightful was told that the meeting was planned out well ahead of time and featured some of the bosses within the company, both familiar and ones with the talent that we'll be answering to for now. Some talent had spoken to higher ups individually as well. The general feeling is that nobody wanted the roster to abandon the hard work they've done as a group, even if they don't agree with the decision to replace D'Amore. They were told that there was one top name in TNA looking to leave the company and decided to ride it out after this weekend's tapings, seeing how the meeting went. Would that be Josh Alexander?
Oh, I don't know. He already they extended his deal anyway, so it doesn't really matter if he wanted to leave or not.
Jordan Grace resigned, right?
A while ago. I'm not sure how
Yeah.
long ago, but yeah, she did.
I wonder what top talent they're talking about then.
Not a clue.
They're told that the new higher ups are open to feedback from the roster. Several wrestlers said that while they don't agree with the decision, the meeting did a good job of getting them excited for the possibilities of TNA moving forward. As of now, D'Amore is not expected to rejoin the company, although many on the roster are still hoping for it. So maybe No Cred Ed gets realizes this wasn't the best decision, and to replace D'Amore with a
MK
guy
St.
that has
Grace
no
is signed
wrestling.
through August of 2025.
Yeah. It wasn't a great decision to replace D'Amore, who is very good at what he does and well liked within the company, with a guy that has no wrestling experience at all. So I don't know. I would not be surprised if they bring D'Amore back, but if he goes somewhere else, though, then they're fucked. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes.
I think there's a greater chance of someone picking him up
Yep.
than there is of TNA bringing him back right now.
Yep. This Sunday, March 3rd, is AEW Revolution. Feels like it's been forever since we've had an AEW pay-per-view, even though they're kind of putting out some of them a little more frequently now. But now the road to Revolution ends on Sunday. 9 matches on the card announced. We may get a few more, maybe something for the kickoff show, something like that. Maybe announced this week on Dynamite and Collision. But let's get into it. I'm surprised this doesn't have a stipulation or just a special, like a no DQ or a no time limit or something like that. But because of course FTR and the Blackpool Combat Club
Yeah,
went to a draw.
I think we'll get a stipulation on Wednesday.
Okay.
On Dynamite, because there's a trios match. It's FTR and Eddie Kingston against Moxley, Claudio, and Danielson on Dynamite. So I think we're gonna get that. I agree with MK. I think this is the best built AEW pay-per-view since Revolution 2020.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the one thing that AEW hasn't done a great job in their pay-per-view is always like 99 times out of 100 their pay-per-views are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But they're putting like 75 to 80% of the card together in the last week.
Yeah. Or
so,
they're
like,
putting it they're putting it together with no rhyme or reason too.
Well, just the fact that they've built so many matches in the last 2 months for this show to make them more important, I do think this is probably the best built AEW pay-per-view in a very long time.
Almost every single one has had a build for multiple weeks, several weeks, months. So I'm gonna have to go with FTR here though.
I agree.
More established team.
FTR needs this one a lot more than BCC does. Just 100%.
I thought there would be more people in this. Maybe they add to it on Wednesday.
Maybe on 0 Hour Frantic World. I don't see this being on the main card. This could be a 0. They could do this on a 0 hour match if they wanted to. But I don't see it. I don't see it as being a main show match.
Meat Madness. Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs,
There's
Lance Archer.
there's got to be more people added.
Yeah. There's
I mean,
only
you
3
can't
so
call
much so
something
far.
Meat Madness and be a three-way match. Your main event's a three-way match, and that's not World Title Madness. You know, it like we
Yeah.
see freaking three-way matches in AEW all the damn time. Throw freaking Brian Cage and Miro into this, and then you got Meat Madness. That's a five-way. That's a lot better. You can even throw Big Bill in there for good measure if you want to add a sixth guy. Yeah, Marcho wants Goldberg. Look, I'm not rolling Goldberg out on Sunday. I'm not saying he's going to be in Meat Madness, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him there for Sting's last match.
Hell, throw one of
I would not be surprised at all.
Throw one of the Bears in there. They're meaty. There's plenty of meat.
Keep the Iron Savages out of this. Freaking terrible.
Yes, Safed, breaking news. Unfortunately, Ole Anderson, a founding member of the Four Horsemen, passed away. The brother of Arn Anderson. Ole, man,
well, storyline wise.
Storyline, yeah, that's brothers. Yeah, but man, that was a guy that was that guy was no nonsense at all, man. TNT title, Christian Cage, Danny Garcia. I think just the fact of how they presented Garcia, building him up through the Continental Classic, and then what they've done after the Continental Classic, I think they're gonna put the title on Garcia.
I hope so. I really hope you're right. I think that would be the best call right now, because to me, Cage and Copeland can continue their storyline without the title.
Yep.
The title's not necessary. And Garcia's been on a freight train of momentum since the Continental Classic, so I'd like to see them pay it off at Revolution. I'm not sure that they're going to. My gut tells me that Christian Cage is going to retain, but I would like to see Garcia win the title.
Yeah, like Christian can still be a father and a prick without the title, so he doesn't need the title to be those things. So, and the crowd is still behind Garcia, even though he lost more than he won in that Continental Classic. The crowd is still heavily behind him, so I think it is a good time to pull that trigger. Boy, this match ain't gonna suck. Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita. Obviously, Ospreay, new guy signed company. You got to put him over, unless there's some chicanery. But I don't think there will be until the end of the match when they beat down Ospreay. When Ospreay clearly is not going to join the Don Callis family. But boy, this is going to
remain in the Don Callis family.
Yeah, boy, will this be a good match. But yeah, Ospreay's going to
I figure they teased the dissension on Dynamite Wednesday, because Ospreay is scheduled to be at Dynamite on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And after the match, they pull the trigger that Ospreay is not part of that group anymore. I think it'll be good. Ospreay to me is too popular right now to come in as a heel. I don't think it would work. People want to cheer the guy. So, as far as the Open return, Kyle Fletcher's still dealing with visa issues. So unless they've got that worked out, that's probably not in the card for the time being, unfortunately. Which really sucks, because he's a freaking title holder, and they can't get him on TV right now. So hopefully they get that fixed sooner rather than later.
Singles match for the Continental Crown Championship. Eddie Kingston against Bryan Danielson. If Danielson loses, he has to shake Kingston's hand. This has been all about disrespecting Eddie Kingston all the way through months and months and months of disrespect. To me, Eddie has to win this.
This is a coin flip for me, because I could see it going both ways. They could really establish Kingston as a main event player within the company with a win here, but I could also see them wanting to finally put gold on Danielson in his final full-time year at AEW before before he, shifts into like a part-time role with the company going forward.
I wonder if he wants to have gold.
I don't know,
There's
man.
still Nigel McGuinness on the horizon.
Yeah, I'd still like to see Nigel and Danielson it all in. I don't know if we're gonna get it, but that's what I want. To me, this is a coin. This is a coin flip. I think Eddie will retain, but I won't be surprised if Danielson comes out here with the win.
Next up, the Women's World Championship match. Timeless Toni Storm against Deonna Purrazzo. Matt, how do you see that going?
This is Purrazzo's one shot. If she loses, she's going to be lost. To me, she's going to be lost in the shuffle when Monet comes in. I put the title on Purrazzo because if you don't, I don't see her back in the title mix anytime soon. To the Toni Storm gimmick can operate perfectly fine without the championship. And Storm could even be Money's first feud if they wanted to. Since she wouldn't have the title any longer.
Mhm.
I think you don't want Purrazzo to get lost in the mid card.
Hey,
So
cheap plug.
I think Purrazzo has to win on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to put it on Purrazzo. Don't be too surprised if you see a return of a certain dentist in the next few weeks as well. Boy, that women's division is going to be so stacked.
2024 year the women's division in AEW. It's gonna be monstrous.
Singles match for the AEW International title. The workhorse Orange Cassidy taking on Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom. I've felt this for weeks now that this is where the title is going to change, and I'm not changing it. I'm going Roderick Strong winning the title here.
The Undisputed Kingdom needs something.
Yeah, they do.
They're that faction's floundering right now.
It is. It's so weird.
If they losses at that pay-per-view will crush that stable even further. Like without Cole being there, consistently active and being cleared, it's the whole group is it's not doing well right now. So yeah, I think Roderick Strong leaves there with gold.
Yeah,
MK thinks Danhausen costs Orange
Wow.
Cassidy the title on Sunday. That would be interesting.
Wow. I mean,
Danhausen said this is the year of spite. So maybe he spites Orange Cassidy. That would be nuts.
How? You got the Kingdom and the Undisputed Era combined. And how are they floundering? It's just insane to think. Even with Adam Cole
Because their
hurt.
main story surrounds MJF, who's off TV right now.
Yeah.
And the other storyline that should have been building and they just totally just dropped it was the Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold uniting to take these guys on because there's power in numbers. They unite and they just forget about them. It doesn't make any sense.
That was the whole reason why they united.
That's very frustrating to me. Because
Samoa Joe.
I don't like it.
Samoa Joe, Hangman, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship. We're crowning Swerve here, aren't we?
If Hangman can go, which I've heard that he might not be able to make the pay-per-view for some kind of personal reason or something, I think Joe beats Hangman to retain. If it's one-on-one, all bets are off. Because I don't know if they want to pin or submit Swerve. But I think if it remains a three-way, Joe retains. If it's one-on-one, it might be Swerve's time. We'll find out on Sunday.
Saving the best for last. Tornado tag match for the AEW World Championship. Sting's retirement match. Sting, Darby Allin against the Young Bucks. I am going to go completely different than what I was going to go. I was going to say Sting was going to get pinned and look at the lights. But after his sons got attacked and everything, and you're going to see a lot of nostalgia in this, Sting pins one of the Matthews or Nicholases to go out as a champion.
I think Sting's going to do the old school thing and go out on his back.
See, now we flip-flopped. That's funny.
Yeah, I think the Young Bucks are winning this match. And I'm not even sure Sting takes the pin. It might be Darby. but I think Sting probably wants to take the pin and go out that way. I could be completely wrong. And personally, I don't want to see Sting lose. I think it's going to be a bummer for that
that's
for
funny
that
how we
audience.
flip-flop.
But
That's funny how we flip-flopped.
yeah, I don't know, man.
We got
I'm thinking Bucks at the moment.
We got replays of the Chamber showing there. Raw's getting
Time for
started.
Raw.
Cody Rhodes taking on Grayson Waller. New Day and Imperium in a street fight. Sami Zayn takes on Shinsuke Nakamura.
Again.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to Lost to the Midcard. Matt and I will be back next week with our takes fresh off of AEW Revolution. Have a good week, guys.